At my dad's 50th birthday, I was ordered to man the grill. That's all you're good for, so don't screw it up. When I finally sat down, my dad looked at me with disgust and said, "You done? Good. Get the hell out of the way. I don't want to look at you while I'm eating." Everyone laughed like it was the funniest thing they'd heard all night. My brother added, "Yeah, don't ruin the view." My mom just rolled her eyes and said, "Don't start your drama again." I didn't argue. I just looked at them and said, "You'll regret this sooner than you think," and left. 2 years later, they got a surprise they never saw coming. Now they're blowing up my phone, crying, screaming, leaving voicemails at 3 a.m. Please, please just talk to us. We'll do anything. Just tell us what you want. Don't do this to us. So IDK, if this is even gonna get read TBH, but whatever, I gotta get it out somewhere. I'm not really one for overthinking stuff, but this has been sitting in my head for weeks now, and I still feel like my hands are shaking when I think about it. Real talk. I'm not the type to blow up over family shit. Most of the time I just let crap slide, but this time, nah. My brother just bought a house, first one in the family too, and NGL, he's been acting like he's the king of the block ever since. Like every group chat, every family dinner, he's dropping hints about big plans and grown-up life like he's the only one who ever figured out how a mortgage works. Whatever. I'm used to it. He's always been the golden child. My parents never really tried to hide that, especially my mom, who's always had this thing where she acts like I'm just some leftover mistake, not her actual son. Sometimes I think she just wanted one kid and ended up with two by accident, FR. Anyway, so the housewarming invite never came. I saw him post some dumb boomer meme about house proud on his stories a couple weeks back, and my cousin Gemma was hyped in the comments all, "See you Saturday." Which, okay, that's weird, right? No one said a word to me. Not my brother, not my mom, not even in the family stuff group, which is usually all forwards and people arguing about who's making potato salad for holidays. I texted him, nothing. Asked my mom about plans, she just said, "Oh, it's just a thing for close friends." Right. Because apparently I've been demoted to acquaintance now. I tried not to let it bug me, but you know how you can't stop thinking about something stupid and it just eats at you? So the day comes and I'm scrolling through my phone and I see my brother's girlfriend post a story. Literally everyone is there. Backyard full, grill out, speakers blasting, people I haven't seen in years. All my cousins, even some of my brother's old high school, our neighbor from when we were kids even. I don't know what hit me, but I got in the car and just drove over there. I wasn't going to crash it. I just wanted to see for myself, IDK. When I pull up, the street is loaded with cars. People everywhere. I parked out of sight. Yeah, I know, kind of pathetic, but whatever. And walked by real casual, like I was just out for a stroll. I could see everyone in the backyard laughing, red Solo cups, my dad playing cornhole, my uncle yelling at the grill like he always does. For a second, it was just, I don't know, surreal? Like I was looking through a window at someone else's. I stood there for a minute, just kind of out of the way, and then for some reason I called my brother. I guess I wanted to see if he'd answer. He picked up on the second ring. No hello, just went straight into it. "Why would we invite you? Nobody wants you here. You always make shit worse." Like he'd been waiting for me to call almost. I could hear people in the background, and then my mom, loud as hell, not even bothering to cover the phone, goes, "This house isn't for mistakes like you." I didn't even say anything back for a second, just stood there with my phone to my ear, listening to them laugh like it was a roast or something. I could feel my face getting hot. I said, "Say less. I won't forget it, and I'll make sure you don't either." Then I hung up. I was shaking, Angel. I almost threw my phone. I started to walk back to my car and I see my brother and a couple of his friends come out the side gate laughing about something, and one of them spots me and goes, "Hey, is that Lance?" My brother doesn't even look at me, just keeps walking. I said, "What? You can't even look me in the eye now." And he just shrugs, says, "Don't start drama at my house, go home." I said, "Or what? You gonna call the cops on your own family?" He gets up in my face, and he's bigger than me, always has been. But I'm not about to back down. He shoves me, not hard, just enough to make a point. I shoved him back. I said, "Don't put your hands on me again." He laughs, turns around, and heads back inside, slamming the gate behind him. I just stood there for a sec, heart pounding. Nobody from the party even looked over except my cousin Gemma, and she just kind of gave me this sad little wave and turned away. I got in my car and just sat there for a while, watching people filter in and out of the house, laughing, shouting, like nothing happened. I texted my mom and said, "You could have just told me you didn't want me there." She left me on read. I called my dad and he just said, "I'm busy, don't make a scene," and hung up. So I drove home, and I swore to myself that was it. IDK what hit me. But I started making a list in my notes app of every time they'd pulled this crap just so I wouldn't forget. I don't even know what I was going to do with it, but I knew I wasn't just going to let it slide this time. I'm not a punching bag. For a couple days, I kept thinking maybe someone would reach out, like maybe Gemma or my aunt would check in or something, but nothing. Just silence. Just stories and posts, like everything was normal, everyone playing happy family. I know why they treat me like this, FR. My brother's always been the planned kid, the one they banked on. I was only ever the backup plan, and whenever I push back, they act like I'm the problem. My mom's never really tried to hide it. Every time something goes wrong, she blames me. Every fight, every awkward holiday, she acts like it wouldn't have happened if I just played along. My dad just ignores it. My brother eats it up, thinks it makes him some kind of hero. So I just started making a plan. Not gonna lie, I was angry. Like, actually angry. Not just annoyed. I wasn't about to let them walk all over me again, not after this. I didn't tell anyone, didn't post cryptic stuff, just started thinking. I wasn't gonna just ghost them and let them move on, nah. They needed to feel it for once. I still don't know if that was the right move, but I knew if I just sat there and took it, it'd never stop. So I started figuring out exactly how to make them wish they'd never pushed me out. I started paying attention to all the little ways they rely on me, all the things they never even think about because they just assume I'll do them. I started writing shit down. This isn't going to be one of those stories where I just walk away and find inner peace or whatever. I'm not interested in that. They want to act like I'm nothing? Fine. Let's see how they like it when I show them exactly how much trouble I can cause when I decide I'm done being the family joke. That's all for now. I'll update if people care. Next part's when things start moving, and I actually get to do something instead of just sitting on the sidelines. If you've ever been the black sheep, you know what I mean. Stay tuned. Update 1. So I thought maybe after that whole housewarming mess, someone would reach out. Like, not even an apology, just a, hey, are you alive type thing. But nah. It was just dead quiet. I saw stories from my cousin Gemma a couple days later, everyone smiling. My brother's dumb family means everything. Captions. Mom in the background playing hostess like she's Martha Stewart. Nobody texts, nobody calls. So I started thinking like, what if I just stop? Not just stop showing up, but stop doing all the little crap I always do for them. It's wild how much you do for people without really clocking it. Picking up stuff for my parents, handling random tech things, fixing stuff at my brother's old apartment because he doesn't know the difference between a fuse and a circuit. I'd get weird texts at like midnight. Hey, can you look at my Wi-Fi, or can you drop off something at mom's? Like I'm the family errand boy. I never really said no, I just did it. I guess I got used to being the backup plan for everything. But after what they said, nah, I was done. Not even mad at first, just empty. I just started saying I was busy. I let my brother's texts sit unread. My mom called about some leak in the basement. I said, you should call a plumber, I don't have time. She got all huffy like, well, I guess you're too busy for your family now. Yeah, I am. The weird part is how fast they noticed. My brother tried to play it off like he didn't care, but I saw him comment on my old Insta post, kind of fishing for me to respond. I ignored it. He texted me, what's your problem? Why are you being like this? I left him on read. My dad, who never really gets involved, called and just said, your mom's upset. You should come by. I said maybe next week. Never did. For the first time in forever, I stopped being on call for family drama. I didn't show up for chores, didn't offer rides, didn't answer late-night calls about car trouble. I even set my phone to do not disturb for their numbers after 9. My cousin Gemma texted once asking if we were good. I said, yeah, I just need space. She just sent a thumbs up and nothing else. Honestly, it felt weird. Not like a power move, just quiet. I started noticing how much of my week was just them. Driving across town because my mom forgot something, picking up stuff from my brother, helping dad with yard work. I started leaving group chats on mute. Nobody seemed to notice at first, but slowly it started to show up. About 2 weeks in, my brother called, sounding pissed, said the TV in his spare room wasn't working, and I needed to look at it before some game night he was planning. I said, I'm not your personal tech support. He hung up. Later I got a text from my mom. You know your brother's busy. You shouldn't make things harder for him. I just replied, I'm busy too. She didn't answer. The next family group thing was my dad's birthday. Usually, I'd help set up, pick up the food, run around making sure the old folks had chairs, all that. This time, I said I'd be late. Then showed up just as everyone was sitting down. Brought my own food. My mom asked why I didn't bring the stuff she asked for. I said, I never agreed to it. Maybe ask Blake. She looked annoyed, but didn't push it. My brother side-eyed me the whole time. No one really talked to me. I ate, watched the game on my phone, left early. People started noticing that. My aunt texted me after, said, you seemed off. Is everything okay? I just said, things are fine, just tired. She didn't ask again. I saw my brother at the gas station a few days later. He didn't even say hi, just stared at me and laughed with his friend. I just nodded and left. A couple nights later, my mom called, all stressed, said the power went out in the basement and she needed me to come reset the breaker. I said, I'm not home. Maybe ask Dad. She got mad, voice raised, said, You're being selfish. I said, You said I was a mistake, remember? You can handle it. She hung up. I was surprised how fast the cracks started to show. My brother called, left a voicemail, not even pretending to be nice, just said, You're making everything harder. Can't you just get over yourself? I deleted it. My dad called, quieter, just said, Can you at least call your mom so she stops yelling at me? I said, I'll think about it. I didn't. Then came the first real blow-up. My brother's game night, the one I didn't help set up for, apparently went sideways. Sound system broke. Nobody could fix it. Food got cold. People left early. My mom texted me late, said, Thanks for nothing. You made your brother look bad. I just replied, Not my problem. She called back, yelling. I hung up. Next day, I got a text from my dad, just said, This can't go on. You're tearing the family apart. I laughed. Like, really? I'm tearing it apart? All because I finally stopped letting them use me. I started getting random calls at weird hours. My brother, my mom, even my dad, all trying to get me to do stuff, fix stuff, show up for stuff. I stopped answering, set my phone to silence at night. One time, my mom showed up at my door, banged on it until my neighbor texted me to ask if everything was okay. I opened the door. She tried to walk past me. I blocked her. She slapped my arm and said, Stop acting like a child. Your family needs you. I told her, You need me. Then treat me like I matter. She walked off, slammed her car door. My brother texted after that, said, Can you just stop being dramatic? Come fix the shed. Mom's losing it. I said, Maybe you should call someone who's not a mistake. He just replied, Wow, you're really doing this, huh? I said, Yeah, I am. So now it's been, 3.5 weeks? Nobody's talking to me except to ask for stuff. I'm not showing up. I'm not fixing things. I'm not driving across town for errands. I see them trying to figure it out on group chats, but nobody ups me. My aunt tried to get me to come to Sunday dinner. I said, I'm busy. She just said, Suit yourself. What's wild is how they all expected me to just get over it. Like, yeah, they called me a mistake, told me I wasn't wanted, but I'm supposed to just keep being the helpful one. I started thinking, maybe they really do think I'm just there to serve. Like I'm not a real person, just a backup. I'm not even done yet. I'm just getting started. People keep telling me to be the bigger person, but I'm tired of being the bigger person. I'm not gonna yell or throw a fit. I'm just gonna show them what happens when I'm not around to clean up their mess. Next part's when things start to actually break down for them. I'm not just talking about missed chores either. They think this is bad. They have no idea what's coming. I'm not gonna let it go. They wanted to push me out, now they can see how it feels to be left out for real. Stay tuned. Update 2. Alright, here's what actually went down after I pulled back. And yeah, if you thought the last bit was messy, just wait. I'm not even halfway through what I've got planned. Just so we're clear, I'm not looking for some kumbaya moment. I'm not interested in healing. I wanted them to squirm for a change, and NGL. When you stop giving people what they take for granted, things start breaking quick. So it was about week 4 after the housewarming BS. I'd barely talk to anyone except Gemma, my cousin. She's the only one who acts like a real human most days. Everything else was just my mom texting passive-aggressive crap or my brother trying to guilt me about family, like he didn't just roast me out of his life. Anyway, I started noticing little things were getting weird. My mom sent me a pic of the basement. Apparently the leak got worse. She wrote, See what happens when you ignore your mother? I just left it on red. No way I was coming over to fix anything. My brother's new place wasn't doing much better. I heard from a mutual friend that he'd had to pay to get his deck fixed after his game night disaster. The one where I didn't set up the sound system. I guess one of his buddies tried to fix the wiring and tripped a breaker, so now his outdoor lights flicker whenever it rains. I saw a video of it in someone's story, and I'm not gonna lie, it made me laugh. He was trying to brag about his house, and all you could hear was him cussing out the lights. So this is where things get spicy. These people always acted like I did nothing for them, but I made a list of every single thing I actually handled. Like, I was the one who set up their Wi-Fi, handled their security cameras, programmed the thermostat, fixed the dumb water filter my dad installed wrong. My mom always called me to help her navigate stuff online too, yes. She'd get locked out of her email or whatever, then blame me for not making it simple. I did it all, and nobody ever said thanks. I just wanted it to be peaceful, I guess. So I started unsubscribing myself from all the bills and reminders I set up for them. I didn't touch their accounts, just stopped paying for anything I'd been covering, stuff like the cloud storage for family pics, the shared drive, the domain for my brother's gaming site. Little things people don't even think about but get real annoying when they go down. I texted my brother and said, FYI, you're on your own for the next domain renewal. I'm not fronting the cash for your brand anymore. He texted back a wall of angry emojis. blocked his number. The best part was watching them scramble. My mom tried to get into her email and realized she couldn't reset her password because it was my old number as the backup. She called me, swearing, then hung up when I said, "Maybe you should ask your favorite son for help." My brother posted some whiny rant on his stories about fake family and people who can't handle loyalty. I didn't respond. I just watched. Then my dad called, which is rare. He said, "Your mother's upset. Your brother's stressed. I don't see why you can't just move on." I said I did move on, and hung up. He texted a few times after that, mostly just saying, "You're being childish. You're making things harder for everyone." The money stuff started to bite too. My brother's house payment hit. He'd always use me as backup in case his check was late. And guess what? This time he bounced one. I didn't cover it. My mom texted, "You let your brother's payment bounce?" I just texted a shrug. She called, yelling, and I hung up. She called again and I let it ring out. Next day, my brother tried to corner me outside my apartment, said, "What F is your problem? Do you just want us to fail?" I said, "I want you to figure it out without blaming me." He shoved me, and I shoved him back. Told him, "You touch me again, I'll call the cops." He walked off cursing. Then came the family group meltdown. My mom started posting in the chat about how some people only care about themselves. My aunt jumped in, said, "Maybe if we were nicer, people wouldn't pull away." My brother exploded, said, "Don't blame me, blame Lance. He's always been jealous." I didn't even reply, just left the group. Now, the little things started adding up. My mom's car broke down, she called me, I let it ring. My brother's game night flopped again because he couldn't get his speakers online. My dad kept texting, saying, "Why can't you just help? It's not that hard." I ignored. Then the bills started piling up. My brother texted, all caps, asking where his backup money went. I said, "I'm not your bank." He started calling my friends, trying to get them to talk to me. I told them, "Don't bother, I'm good." What killed me is how fast they turned on each other. My mom blamed my brother for letting things get this bad. My brother blamed my mom for never doing anything herself. My dad just started avoiding all of us. Then my cousin Gemma texted, said, "I think you broke them, Angel." I said, "They broke themselves. I just stopped fixing it." I guess the turning point was when my brother's utilities almost got shut off. He called, voice shaking, said, "Dude, I'm not kidding. I need help." I said, "I told you, you're on your own." He started crying. I hung up. My mom called after screaming, said, "You're ruining us." I said, "I'm not ruining anything. You did this when you decided I didn't matter." So now, the family's in shambles. Nobody talks in the group chat. My brother's house is falling apart. Mom's car is dead. Dad's just hiding out at his friend's place. I see them all trying to manage, but it's like watching them juggle knives while blindfolded. Nobody knows what to do. And for once, nobody's looking at me like I'm the villain for not fixing it. I'm not even done. Next part's what I actually did to make sure they felt it, not just noticed it. This was just the warm-up. After a month of ignoring me, now they're calling every day, texting at all hours, trying to get me to come back. But nah, they wanted to see what it's like without me, so that's exactly what they got. More soon. Final update. So this is it. The part where I actually did something, not just sat back and watched them scramble. If you've read the last three, you know I wasn't just going to go silent and let them move on. Nah, this was about making sure they knew what it felt like. Not just a little guilt, but real pain. If that sounds harsh, sorry, but you don't get to call your own kid a mistake and then act like nothing happened. First thing I noticed was how desperate my brother was getting. He'd never admit it, but he was texting random people for help. I had one of his old friends DM me like, "Hey, Blake says you ghosted everyone. Are you good?" I just left it on scene. My mom started calling my neighbor, no joke, asking if she could come by to talk to me. Like she really thought I'd just open the door and listen to another guilt trip. So I started thinking, what's the one thing they actually care about? Not me, not even each other at this point. It's their image. My mom lives for neighborhood gossip. My brother wants everyone to think he's crushing it. My dad just wants peace and quiet. So I started poking at that. My brother had this big deal with his HOA about his backyard. He always brags about his outdoor oasis, but it was built half on the old neighbor's property line. I know because I helped him measure it and told him it was off, but he didn't care. So I printed out a copy of the basic lot survey, public info, circled the fence line and dropped it in the HOA mailbox. Didn't sign it, just left a note that said, maybe check the boundary. Next week, my brother's blowing up the group chat saying some neighbor ratted him out, and the HOA's threatening to make him tear down half his fence. He called me 3 times that day. I ignored every call. My mom's car was still dead, and she was telling everyone how useless mechanics are. Nobody offered to help. I knew she needed her car for her church group thing, so I called her, first time in weeks, and said, "You want help?" She said, "Finally, you're coming to your senses." I said, "Nah, just wanted you to know you're on your own," and hung up. She texted me after, said, "You're heartless. Nobody treats their mother like this." I replied, "Nobody tells their son he's a mistake and expects him to fix their problems." My dad tried to play nice, came by my apartment and knocked for like 10 minutes. I opened the door just enough to see him. He said, "Let's just talk. You're taking this too far." I said, "I'm not taking it far enough." He tried to push past me. I blocked him with my arm. He said, "Don't be a jerk, we're still family." I said, "Not the way you treated me." My brother started getting desperate. He called me at midnight, his number showing up over and over. I finally answered and he just started yelling. Said the HOA was fining him, his bank account was overdrawn, the shed was leaking, and mom was losing it. I said, "You said nobody wants me around, so why call me now?" He went quiet. Then he cursed and hung up. Next day, he showed up at my place, banging on the door. I opened it. He tried to shove past me. I pushed him back. He lost it, tried to slap my phone out of my hand. I told him if he touched me again, I'd record it and send it to the HOA too. He stormed off, slammed his car door so hard it made my neighbor's dog bark. The calls started getting wild after that. My mom left a voicemail at 3 in the morning sobbing, saying things like, "Please just talk to us, we didn't mean it. Tell us how to fix this." My brother texted me, all caps, "You win, just tell me what you want." My dad tried to call my ex to get to me. I blocked every number except Gemma's. And yeah, it wasn't just about the HOA or the money. I started calling in every little favor they'd ever asked for. Like, I let my brother's old landlord know about the damage he left behind when he moved out. He never fixed the wall he busted during a party, and guess who patched it up? Not him. Landlord texted me, said, "Thanks for the info." My brother got hit with a repair bill the next week. He texted me, "You're out of control." I said, "You started it." My mom couldn't get into her social account because I'd set it up for her and she'd never learned the password. She called me crying, said she needed it for her group. I said, "Maybe you should ask your other son." She hung up. They started asking Gemma to reach out to me. She texted, "Are you sure you want to keep going like this?" I said, "They made it clear I wasn't wanted. Now they get what that feels like." She just sent a sad emoji. I started seeing posts from my mom about feeling betrayed by family, and my brother playing victim with some long rant about loyalty. A couple of my cousins texted, asked if I was okay. I just said, "I'm better than I've ever been, thanks." The thing is, I didn't even have to do anything wild or illegal. I just made sure every blind spot they ignored, every mess they left for me, every shortcut they took, came back around. I didn't fix it. I didn't cover for them. I didn't make calls or run errands. And when people started asking what happened, I told them the truth. No drama, just facts. They said I was a mistake, so I got out of their way. Now they're still calling. My brother texted at 2 in the morning, said, "Please, I can't do this anymore. Can you just help me fix the fence?" My mom called again, left a voicemail, said, "Please, please, just talk to us. We'll do anything." I didn't answer. My dad sent one last text, said, "Don't do this to us." I haven't replied. I know some people will say I went too far, but honestly, I think I went just far enough. They wanted me gone. Now they get to see what life's like when I'm not there to clean up after them. No more backup plan. No more free labor. No more family punching bag. Maybe one day they'll figure it out. Maybe not. Either way, I'm not coming back. They made their choice. Now they get to live with it. That's it. That's my update. If you're reading this and you're where I was, trust me, sometimes letting go is the real move, but making them feel it, that's the part nobody forgets.